Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's and this week's Akashic reading for everyone here. I want to reiterate, we get a lot of requests for individual readings from people who write in, and we just have too many viewers to be able to do that. So, as always, I just want to say, when I'm shuffling the cards for today's and this week's reading, actually, the reading is for the whole week. And indeed, in some cases, like today's reading will be beyond this week. I always say, as I'm shuffling, give me the cards that are responsive to the people who are going to be tuning in. And so these are for you and me, because we are taking this time to take a look at the Akashic Tarot and how we can read them. I love showing you different spreads and what they mean for us. So I just want to say that as I was thinking of the cards and shuffling them this morning, and again, I always use the cards exactly as they come. I never change their order. I never change their being upright or reversed. I know that the cards, there is a universal resonance for all of us who are getting this reading today for this upcoming week. There is a universal resonance for each of us, and I wouldn't disturb the cards. Even if indeed there are some cards that look difficult, then we need to know about that. So that's what I do. I have a very strong determination to let the cards guide me. Otherwise, why even bother doing a tarot reading, right? Okay, so as I was shuffling today, I actually didn't know what the lesson was going to be on. I was going to say, I was shuffling the cards for this reading for this upcoming week and for today for everybody. And I got an immediate sense of this is going to end up being about finances. And so that's what I decided to take a look at as these cards. And of course, you can interpret the cards in other ways too. But actually, as it turns out, this did turn out to be finances. Now, I will say that it can talk about, the cards can talk about finances, but since it's talking about finance, it also can talk about your job. It could be talking about investment, this reading, or future investments, and it could also be talking about your income or your lack thereof, or your needing to get a job or wanting to get a job. Finances and income are ruled by Venus in astrology, and they bring us, they come to us in various ways, whether it be through investment or through our work. Now, usually what I do is lay down 5 cards in a straight line. But when it turns out to me to be that the reading is going to be about finances, I actually start to place the cards. First, I do place them in a straight line, which you would have seen these 5. I always start out with uneven cards. That helps me to gather information about whether or not most of the cards are high in resonance, low in resonance, indicating challenges or indicating ups and downs, so to speak. So, but I put these 5 cards down. This card wasn't out yet. And because this last card here was Uriel and the Sphinx reversed, that was not an outcome card. So it didn't display the outcome. So that's why I pulled the last card out to indicate the outcome here. But even once I had it in a straight line, since it turned out to be about finances, I put it in my financial spread. And as you can see, the cards go up and down and up and down and up and down. And if you were to look at any of the stock shows on television, or indeed any stock reports, you would see that the stocks go up and down, and you would see graphs that would show the peaks and the troughs and the crests and the valleys. of how a stock moves, or indeed how the entire stock market moves. So whenever I'm experiencing a reading that has to do with financial wellness, income, and whether that be income from your work, from your job, or income from an investment, I put it down in the same manner. And the cards tell me whether they go up or down. This is a difficult card, obviously. We start out with the Lookout. And this person is in a crow's nest in a ship, and the sails are on fire. The ship might be in a war, or maybe it was struck by lightning. But there is definitely challenges and troubles here, and he's looking to the horizon to see. You can see he's got his binoculars up to his eyes, and he's looking to the horizon to see where help is coming and how help is coming and from which direction. So this actually I put down low, because this, for many people who are getting this reading now, there's some challenges in making decisions about work, or in getting the right income, or in actually even getting a job, or dealing with the right investments. That is shown by the Lookout card being our first card out. Okay, well then I want to see, well, where is this going to go if we're having trouble right now with either finances, or getting a job, or getting a higher paying job. This could also be getting financial claims from insurance and winning lawsuits that have a financial outcome to it. But there's certainly, as you can see, challenges here with allowing yourself to get this source of money. So the next card out is the Akashic Field reversed. And the Akashic Field is the Ace of Forces, and it's a card of great power. But when it's in the reversed, we're not able to quite access that power as much as we'd like. So the card following this, the month following this, actually indicates that next month we might certainly be out of the war, out of the battle, but we still will be able to harness the growth forces that we might want to make in our finances. Now, I said next month, but I want to indicate something. The cards in their row could equal 1 month to the next, to the next, to the next. So we could be looking at a 5 to 6 month time period here. But if you've asked a question, or if the cards indicate, or if the situation is very immediate and urgent, the cards then actually shrink to a 1 week timeline. So if this could be next week rather than next month. If you're looking at long-term projections over your financial investments, then these cards would indicate a month by month by month passage. On the other hand, if your situation is very urgent, suddenly changing, dramatically volatile, and indeed moving, then each one of these cards could be, this is next week, this is the following week, this is the week after that, and then this is the week after that, and so on. So you have to determine for yourself, whenever you're doing a reading for yourself, whether or not you're focusing on a situation that actually has a long-term effect, or a situation that has a great deal of volatility and very quickly moving and changing situations. That I can't tell of you. Each of you have to decide that for your own, okay? But I can tell you that if this were a long-term investment, then next month we would be having some difficulties with our finances right now, but next month we wouldn't be able to harness the forces that we would be looking to harness. And so there, what did the graph do? It fell just a bit. It wasn't loss. It was just a period of not being able to move up and to move forward. But then bingo, the next card out is the Queen of Keys. And the Queen of Keys is the woman of finances, real estate, holdings of other financial investments. Keys is the suit of all of our monies, wealth, abundance, and achievement as well. And so she's upright. And what that indicates to us that even though we have very significant challenges here, the challenges might be leveling off in the next month, but still we can't make the kind of movement and get the control we want. But immediately after that, we move ourselves in, we actually feel as if we're moving into a stronger position of not just control, but actually achievement, direction. And that's why the graph line moves up here from the Akashic field and certainly up from there. So up from the first card out. So we are looking at 3 months down the road or 3 weeks down the road, however you determine this volatility and this changeability with your financial situation now. We're coming into a time of actually much more prosperity and much more certainty with our ability to create achievement and to actually create ownership with the Queen of Keys here. There she is looking over the expanse of the horizon, that she owns all of this wonderful stuff, okay? And so that's a very happy turn of events. But the next card out is the card of the garden, the 5 of Roses, the children playing in the garden. And this actually takes us to a higher experience, because once we have established through the Queen of Keys, once we have established a greater certainty, a greater control, and a greater sense of achievement, and indeed actual achievement, once we have established that, we move into the garden and get to relax a little bit. We really are in a much more playful state. That's why the graph line goes up here, okay? And so we're in a much more playful state here because we can relax and we can be at ease and we can enjoy our friends, and we don't have to worry about achievement, focusing on, see how she's actually looking. Where the people are looking also tells you a lot. And she's actually focused. She's very happy. She's in her state of accomplishment, but she is looking at the past here with the past 2 months with consideration and happiness that she has now assumed her position. But then we assume this greater position, which is one of ease. And that is where we all should be financially. And indeed, everybody, I do have to say that no matter what financial experience we're having, we do have to create, once we work to the achievements that we want to create, we do have to create a sense of childlike ease and trust, and not showing that everything else that is around us is concerned. And this card shows that we can manage that after we have this achievement and move into the playfulness of the ease, but also support ourselves in experiencing the trust that we're in the exact right garden we need to be in, that we're exactly experiencing the state that we should be in. Now this is followed by Uriel and the Sphinx reversed. Now Uriel and the Sphinx is the holder of the secrets. And he is the holder of all of the mystical past and history. And Uriel is having a silent communication, absorbing the secrets here, but it's upside down. So when the Sphinx is upside down, there is still some unknowns left about our finances. Even when we move into a state of accomplishment, even when we move into a state of ease, there are still some influences and that are unknown to us, that are secret to us, so to speak. But that's okay, because we maintain the state of ease and we move through. We have to let ourselves know that every answer we think we need, it does not have to be coming in this very moment. We do not need to know what's happening next June, this moment. We just need to know that we are doing our best to approach the achievement we seek. And when I say achievement, I don't just mean acquisition. I mean accomplishment, direction, power, trust. Trust is an achievement as well. Boy, as a matter of fact, that's a bigger achievement for most of us than even the money thing. Isn't that the case? So right now, we move from this state of ease through a month of a state of kind of not knowing. It's not that there's any fall in our acquisitions or in our finances, and there isn't any movement upward. There is just things that are unknown to us as we sit and play in the garden. And that's okay, because right now we're cultivating the trust. But then after we go through this month or week, again, you have to determine, based on the volatility and changeability of your financial picture now or your work picture now, whether or not each one of these represents a week or a month. I'm not trying to sound ambiguous. It's part of your intuitive experience of the cards. And of course, when we're reading the Akashic Tarot, we need to let our intuition be a participant, because our Akashic records can only be gotten through our sensitivity to the Akashic. And that's one of the reasons we created the Akashic Tarot, to be another hook into that sensitivity. Okay, but then bingo, look what we get for the last card out here. We have Autumn at the top. And this is a wonderful card of harvest and abundance. It's the fall harvest. While sometimes this card can certainly indicate a seasonal timeline, that's not the case here. This is the timeline that you've determined, but we have a very happy outcome to this financial picture, and all harvest and abundance and fertility coming to fruition. That's the harvest card. Fertility coming to fruition, manifesting the fertile experiences and expressions that we have made. Okay, so here we are, and look at this here. We start literally in battle about finances, about our work, that type of thing. And we move through a point where we don't feel we can control anything. And then bingo, we work to achieve a higher level of connection to our force and an ability to put ourselves in our place. Those of you looking for a job that is coming in this time period, absolutely, I wouldn't hesitate a guess for that. And once you're in this position, you move into the state of ease about it. Certainly, if you're in a new job or in a new investment, even if this is an investment for you, there are unknowns at the beginning of it. That's okay. We have to learn to get to know how the job happens, who the people that are involved are, and all of that type of thing. But ultimately, we move right into the harvest, real abundance and real fruitful joy. So, and look at here's how the graph goes for the investment graph. Investment, not just if you're financial investment, but an investment of your time and efforts in manifesting your finances and creating the job you want and developing the career that you want to have. We go from this lower piece down to a little bit lower, then up and across laterally, and then way up again. So look at how we've climbed the ladder of the next 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, or indeed 4 to 5 months, depending again upon how changeable your financial and work situation is. So isn't this lovely? And you guys, again, I assure you in any and every absolute way, I never influence the cards. I just tell the cards that I want to get the information you most need to see and sense at this moment in time. So here we have a delightful experience and of movement through a very difficult period, and a period where we have no control, into a period of much higher achievement, happiness, trust, some unknowns, that's okay, and beautiful harvest. And we have the graph of our investments of time and money moving up, up, up. And that's what our reading is for you today and this coming week. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed the new spread that we taught you today. Again, sometimes you might just put out a straight line of cards, and only after you see what the cards are or you hear what the question is, do you find out that it's a financial situation. If it is, let the cards show you by their quality whether it's a downturn or an upturn, and let you can actually see the graph of where the energy is going when you create the downturn and the upturn. All right. So, and I also want to say that very quickly, Lisa Williams will be joining me on the weekend of February 16th. We're doing a message gallery here in the Cleveland area. You can go to my website, SharonKlingler.com, and my sister Sandra Taylor and Lisa will be doing a workshop the next day, and Lisa and I will be doing a demonstration of messages from Spirit the Friday night before. Also, I'll be working on the Queen Mary and teaching on the Queen Mary the weekend of March 16th and St. Patrick's Day. So go to my website if you want to take a look at that if you're in either of those areas. And thank you again so much for joining us with our predictions of financial futures and your reading for this week with the Akashic Tarot. God bless you, everyone.